Well, as you've just heard, the state will pay the legal fees for former President Jacob Zuma for the time he was in office. For more on this, we're now joined by MP James Selfe. Mr. Selfe, good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, first, your reaction to what the presidency is saying.
Well, we find the whole situation completely bizarre because, as President Ramaphosa said in Parliament last week, the state has already paid 15.3 million rands to former President Zuma for his legal bills. But it makes it very clear in the correspondence that was sent to us this afternoon that the state is only liable for his criminal trial. Well, his criminal trial hasn't even started yet. The 15.3 million rands was racked up in the civil case that the DA brought against President Zuma to reinstate the charges. So first of all, the agreement doesn't cover civil litigation, it's only for criminal litigation. And secondly, it's our very strong contention that the State Attorney Act does not cover the circumstances of President Zuma's alleged offences, which were committed while he was MEC for Economic Development in KwaZulu-Natal. So for both those reasons, the Democratic Alliance will tomorrow be launching papers in the Gauteng North High Court to review and set aside this decision and to require the former president, to pay back the 15.3 million rands.
Now, do we have a reason, though, notwithstanding what you've just said, to second-guess the state attorney who from what the president's office is telling us, it is the state attorney who advised that this is how they should go about doing this, and they are quoting in their statement the section, the relevant section, the
yes.
State Attorney Act 56 of 1957.
Yes, well, Section 3.1, which is what they quote, is completely inapplicable to the particular circumstances of former President Zuma's legal fees. That is when, for example, a policeman shoots somebody inadvertently and is maybe facing a charge of culpable homicide. Then the state attorney might be obliged to pay that policeman's defense. But in this case, the alleged criminal activities was completely unrelated to the former president's political office at the time. And for that reason, we strongly believe that the State Attorney Act was incorrectly applied, and the State Attorney must please explain to the court why he gave this advice to the President at the time, which advice we believe to be wrong.
Now, the decision was, according to, again, the statement that has been released by the presidency, subject to the undertaking by Jacob Zuma to refund the legal costs that would have been incurred in the event that his defense is unsuccessful.
Yes, well, that may very well be so, but at the moment, he hasn't even been charged criminally yet. The charge was originally laid against him in 2007, but then was discontinued in 2009. And for the last 10 years nearly, he has racked up 15.3 million rands of taxpayers' money trying to avoid his day in court, which we believe was totally inapplicable to the conditions that were laid down for when he was supposed to get this free legal advice or free legal assistance.
The president is also, President Cyril Ramaphosa, that is, made an undertaking saying public money will not be used to cover legal expenses of individuals on strictly personal matters.
Yes, well, we believe that this is a strictly personal matter. When a state official is charged criminally, then the responsibility is on that individual to pay his or her defense. It's not for the state to pay their defense, particularly when the alleged offense had nothing to do with the political office that person held. It's completely nonsensical, and it's for that reason that we will seek a court to review and rescind that decision.
Well, I'm about to let you go, Mr. Selfe, but not without sneaking in something. Can you give us an update on the Patricia de Lille matter?
Oh, I knew you'd sneak that one in. No, what happened today was that one of the panelists of the Federal Legal Commission chose to recuse himself. His nomination had been challenged, and rather than drag the matter out in a long interlocutory application, he withdrew from the panel. So what's going to happen now is that the Federal Legal Commission will appoint a new panelist. That person will have to acquaint him or herself with the case, and thereafter the case can resume.
Mr. Selfe, thanks very much for talking to us this evening. He is, of course, an MP, but also the federal chairperson of the Democratic Alliance.